So here's another funny thing where I feel like we can finally have this conversation given the conversation about Selena Gomez. I think it's just important to recognize this. Beauty is a commodity, so I don't want to sit here and pretend like it isn't. It is. It's just that the most beautiful people are not white and they're not Latinx. They're black, and you can feel how you feel, but that's the truth. And so one thing that's very strange about the passport bros is that they are like doing all these things. They're like going abroad. They're doing all of these things to try to like promote. Well, I don't know. Like it's just it's not that difficult to get a poor beautiful wife. It's just not. They're at the border right now. Like they are running from Venezuela. If black men or whatever, whoever the passport bros from anywhere, if they are looking for women from the developing world who are running for their lives, like so here's what's happening in Texas. Okay, there's a border, right? And people from Ukraine are showing up at the border. Remember the girls with the tacos who were just like sitting there? I'm not trying to be funny. Those girls are pretty. Like I don't. The other women who I've seen crossing the border, getting on the buses and shit, not all of them, but like some of them are like pretty. They're fine, perfectly fine. So I don't know. Like I said, even people who are fives have life chances. Like that's gonna be somebody's like wife. You don't need a passport to go. The same women that they're going to like find in Thailand or wherever are literally trying to cross the border right now, or they're already here. Not in a joking way, but like seriously, they're actually here. So then why do they need a passport to do it? Well, the reason is they're not going to like people for some reason think that every place in the developing world is developing, but like there are tons of rich Africans. In the same way we had like crazy rich Asians, we also have like crazy rich Africans, which I guess y'all just don't have enough familiarity with. But I know, I'm sorry, like Tope is rich. Like I can't. And then he got VC funding and became richer. He literally has like 4 Nigerian girls that he pays for just to fly out and go fuck them. They all have apartments. Me and Jamila have been talking about this for a minute. It's not. I don't believe in fuckboy culture. Okay, I think it's bad. At the same time, like him and Jadena are going to do it. They're going to. They're not going to stop. Like they're not going to stop being fuckboys just because me and you are on YouTube being like, y'all are awful, your culture is awful. They're gonna make more videos and more money, and they're just gonna keep going. Like that's why we have all these apartment tours now. We have the new South African blogger who's talking about, I don't know who her nigga is now, but I feel like in like 3 searches I could probably figure out who this dude is. If y'all really want me to go down that rabbit hole, we can go down. Those research skills come in handy for Insta stalking. I'm real good. If you want me to figure out who's funding her operation, I will. Not the point though. Like what she's saying is like not a joke. This bitch has been in and out of the Louis store for years. Okay, like her second boyfriend owned 5 hotels in South Africa. Like, do y'all think that's a joke? No, she's being serious. She's telling you. Like pretty girls get things. She doesn't have a job. She's like legitimately sitting like a man who she broke up with is financing her life. That's her real life right now. Not a joking life. I literally showed y'all how Anthony spent $16,000 just on fucking drinks at the one event when he raised money. Y'all think those receipts were fake? That was like Friday. It wasn't like some. Y'all have no idea. Y'all really think all this like old plantation money has anything near tech money? It's not the same. These rappers don't have no money. Broke rappers is a thing. They don't have money. You know who has money? The person who owns Atlantic or whatever, who owns those music industries, they have money. The founders who y'all see raised like $100 million, those niggas have money. Okay, go talk to what's his face. If you guys go look at that old video when we were like clapping, when I was like cheers, in that one, that video will go down in history because y'all have no idea how much money was in that picture. So first, that night, Anthony raised, that was like $10 million. He was the first black VC ever to raise that much. But at the same time, at the same table was another dude whose company was worth $10 million already. He didn't raise no money. He just literally had it. So the girl who was sitting next to me, she literally has a company that sends gifts. Like when you get hired, there's a company that sends you like a welcome and onboarding gift. That is her company. Like it's not like tech money hits different. This is not biscuit money, or this is not I own a restaurant money. This is like I have a $10 million waterfront property in New York, in San Francisco, in Lagos, in France, in Italy. And I think y'all think when I post these plane tickets, like y'all think I'm joking when I tell you Facebook paid $12,000 for me to travel from San Francisco to New York, and all that was one WhatsApp message to Matt. I was like, I want to go to Tunisia, and he was like, okay, and we just went. I was like, I want to go to South by. That whole trip was like $100,000, and Facebook got the money, so they're gonna pay. I was trying not to flex because I felt bad. Like nobody else can relate to this. That's why I had to put it on Instagram. I'm like, I feel bad. No, be serious. Like what other black girl was having that experience? Were you also having? No, you weren't. No. This is not some Dubai flew out money of like some like dirty Arab who's like paying for prostitutes. This is not the same thing. Okay, we're not telling that story. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not my story. If that's your story, then do you, boo. Like I don't. I'm sorry. Like the Dubai girls are down bad. I'm so sorry. If you let somebody shit on your face, you should go die. Just jump straight off the bridge, because like some shit should never be publicized ever. Like it ain't worth the dollar, bitch. It is not worth the dollar. I also think it's super funny. So like, let's go back for a second because I saw some video where like Chris Brown was like, she's trotting around with some new Asian girl. I don't know who it is. But this is supposed to be a flex on who, I don't know. I have no idea. But I talked about this 3 years ago. Like the Thailand Beckys who he's floating around with are literally cutting their hair off and selling it for $5 American to put their sons in swimming lessons. If that's not the saddest story you've ever heard, you need to come down to reality. That's fucking pathetic. And he's sitting there flexing this to who? Who is impressed by this? Are you impressed by this? I'm not impressed by this. Like literally that basketball player that we met, remember, in the city? Okay, so when we were at Tyler's bar or whatever one night, like I can't remember, like he showed up with her, and I was like, oh wow, like hi, how are you? And she's like, good. I'm like, I can't remember how, but it got to the point where we were like, oh, where are you from? And she's like, Thailand. And I was like, oh, don't they grow green tea there? And she was like offended, but they do grow. Like that's like if you talk about GDP or gross domestic product, one of the economy of Thailand is built off of green tea. She was offended by the truth. I was like, she was like, no. I was like, bitch, do you have the internet? Like, clearly not. They just fly over. That's why everybody is sitting here talking about they have no education, they're stupid, and they're poor. That's why we keep saying that. Like, how simple was it for this bitch to get a $200 ticket to come over and be another wannabe basketball wives? We have 17 shows about this. Girl, I'm glad you got to experience the cocktail. Take your Instagram photo. Live your life. Like, be the best you that you can. Give it all you got. What is it? Nike says, just do it. Like, just give it what you got. Go for it. I be cheering these bitches on. I swear, I be in the comments like, go girl. Take your photos. Okay, this got so bad that literally, I don't know if y'all saw this. Some of you guys from Finstagram number 3 saw this, but that's why Bia in her bio, she put the writing sign, because I kept seeing the fuckboy tendencies and I would tag Bia in them. And then after the 6th tag, she changed her bio to the writing sign. And I was like, yes, Bia, yes. Like, I think, I didn't get the Bia thing in the beginning. I didn't get it. And then I realized her perspective, because so Bia is Puerto Rican, which basically means she's like black and European. That's what Puerto Rican is. And it's very hard for her because amongst like Latinx women, she's actually considered ugly. So in terms of like the hierarchy of like Latina people, like Latinas, like Selena Gomez, as fat and ugly as she is, she's at the top and Bia's at the bottom. Imagine that. Imagine an entire society that really feels like Bia is uglier than Selena Gomez, and we have to be serious about that, but like that's really how they feel over there in like in Mexico, like, and it's unfortunate. And so I think what Bia was trying to do is like kind of insert herself into the Afro Latina story without being, yeah, she was just trying to like basically find, craft her identity. That's why she keeps saying things like, I do it for my people, I do it for my people. That's the people that she's talking about, because her people are actually down really bad. Like, just think, y'all do know Puerto Rico is literally a colonized territory that's a part of America. This is why Bad Bunny has to go so hard in everything that he does, where he talks about being Puerto Rican, because like they don't really have any representation. Their culture is, and their story is really a story of colonialism, really. The part that I don't like though is when there's this thing of like marginalized people who have these, there are very specific stories of marginalization, but even there's like a hierarchy, right? So it's like all of the colonization that's happened in Latin America has left black people at the bottom. And so they just feel like, well, at least I can use my whiteness. Like if everything else disappears, at least I still have my whiteness, because that's literally all they have. They don't have any land, they don't have any economy. There's no more business ideas because like white Europeans and like really British colonialism is like taking all of the resources, and they're never going to give them back. If you're confused about that, like Puerto Rico is never gonna like get its land back. America's not gonna be like, oh yeah, now we decide you get to have it back. No, like they're not gonna decide that. And like I said, this is why if you're black, you have to have a serious conversation about being an African. Like Africa is our land, and you can have your feelings about it. You can be like, oh, I don't care about the conversation. Like I literally heard some Karens talking about, oh, nobody cares about Africa. Okay, that's fine. You personally don't care about Africa. Like nobody is begging you to. Nobody is like forcing you to join this conversation. Like that's not a thing. But also Africa is a whole continent. It's very important. So be serious. Um, what else? I don't know. I don't. Oh.